Hold your breath, okay? My world is painted in red. It's not my blood. Not yet. It's Mr. Tanaka's, the salesman who, 10 minutes ago, was nervously adjusting his tie. Now, his head is a ruined canyon of bone and pulpy matter, spraying the pristine white interior of the bullet train like a grotesque Pollock painting. The thing that did it stands over him. It's a man, or it was. His name tag reads Kenji. He's a conductor, at least he used to be. Now, his face is a rictus of pure, unadulterated rage, veins bulging like cables under his skin. In his hand, he isn't holding a ticket punch. It's a stainless steel thermos, its base dented and dripping. He turns his dead, shark-like eyes to me. I'm frozen, pinned against the window. The train screams through a tunnel, plunging us into a strobe light nightmare of darkness and the reflection of my own terror. This is the 11:15 to Kyoto, and we are not getting off alive. My passport says Alexandra Kim. Everyone calls me Aki. I was the ghost in the machine. Now, I'm just a rat in a metal trap. My official title, cybersecurity. But what I really do is hack. My employers are not the straight and narrow type. They live in the shadows. And these shadows hold lots of money. A rival corporation paid me a king's ransom and flew me from America to Japan to physically infiltrate this train. As a cybersecurity contractor, my job was to plant a device in Car 8, one that would siphon the entire R&D server from the tech executives on board. A simple job. In and out. I was in the bathroom, securing the device behind a panel, when the first scream echoed from Car 7. I cracked the door, saw a businessman, face pale, stammering about his wife. She just bit me, he whispered, holding a hand to his neck. Then he convulsed. His eyes rolled back. We were plunged into darkness again as we shot through another tunnel, and for an instant, in that darkness, his eyes seemed to flicker. A deep, infernal orange, like embers in a furnace. It was sharp quick, then it was gone. The lights flickered back on as we passed the tunnel. There was another scream then, and another. I was jolted out of my internal rabies versus zombie debate when a woman shoved me out of the bathroom, yelling about getting the bugs off her face. I see him then, the conductor at the end of the car, just standing there. His conductor's hat casting a dark shadow across his face, but I can feel his eyes on me. It's a surreal feeling, as if time slows while my eyes are on him. In my peripheral, I can see passengers scream, climb over seats, fall over one another, but the volume is on low. Whatever this is, it's spreading through this hermetically sealed tube at 198 miles per hour. My laptop is in my bag, in my seat. Useless. My only weapon is my mind, and it's screaming at me that we're all fucked.
I'm Kenzo, a half-breed. Because of this, I can go where others can't. This is why I'm kept around. That and I'm damn good at my job. They call me the Wraith. I am a blade in the dark, but tonight, I am a prisoner. My mark is on this train, a man called Raymond. He thought he was going to make a deal with the YAKUZA and be smart enough to steal from us. It wasn't all at once. He skimmed funds off the top. But we found out. We always find out. My job was simple. Make him disappear between Tokyo and Kyoto. No mess. No witnesses. One more notch on my belt, and one step closer to my father's family. I was moving towards his seat in Car 5 when the conductor, Kenji, stumbled past me, sweating profusely. I thought nothing of it, just the typical weakness of others. Then the screaming started. I've seen violence. I've dealt it. This is different. This is a slaughterhouse frenzy. It's in their eyes. There's no reason, no fear, just a primal need to destroy. I saw a grandmother use her knitting needle to pierce a young man's eye socket with the precision of a neurosurgeon. That's when I got up and put my back to a corner. I'm armed. I'm always armed. The blade in my jacket is ceramic, edge white, silent, invisible to the kind of security here. It's already found the throats of 2 of these things. Their blood was dark and viscous, but there are too many. My mission has changed. Raymond can wait. Now I just need to survive.
I'm a head virologist. I fought tooth and nail to get where I'm at. So when I got the invitation as a guest speaker with my name, Dr. Kano, sprawled across it in gold script, I booked the first flight out. I was on my way to a conference in Kyoto to present a paper on neurotropic pathogens. The irony is a bitter pill I am choking on. I saw what I presume was patient 0, the woman in car 7. She was shivering, complaining of a migraine. Her pupils were dilated, but within them, I swear I saw something. Her heart rate, it was off the charts. I thought it was a severe panic attack. I was wrong. Her entire body started shaking. Then 2 seats down another, and yet another on the other side of the aisle. Soon, some of them were shouting, shoving, and then a fight broke out at the far end of the car. This had to be a weapon. The way people were dropping all around me. A pathogen, aerosolized, I suspect. I know how serious these weaponized viruses can be. I immediately pulled out a face mask from my bag. In my line of work, masks were imperative. How could this be happening? Maybe something was released through the climate control system. I've heard of this. It targets the amygdala, the primal fear and rage center of the brain, and burns out the higher functions. It doesn't just make people aggressive. It turns them into perfect, relentless engines of carnage. The rage is a side effect. The real purpose is to create chaos. A smokescreen. That had to be it. I grasped at that explanation, even though it didn't explain the man. Who, not 10 feet from me, had his arm torn off, ripped clean from its socket by 2 women. He screamed as they each lodged a foot into the man's side and pulled. The pop was loud, heard over his screams, but they kept pulling. I looked away but still heard the ripping sound as first the man's suit jacket tore, then his flesh. The stump wasn't bleeding. It seemed to have been cauterized instantly. The flesh blackened and smoking as if by an invisible torch. The arm on the floor twitched, the fingers curling into a claw, scratching at the linoleum. I told myself to get a grip. They're not zombies. They're humans reduced to their most efficient predatory state. They feel no pain, no fatigue. They will not stop until every single person is maimed or dead. And the train isn't stopping anytime soon. I pull out my phone just like every other sane person left on this train. Shit, I have no bars. We must be in the mountains now. I look around the cabin. Help isn't coming. I slowly crouched on the floor, hoping I didn't bring attention to myself. There was literally nowhere to go. I'm in a speeding, pressurized lab, and the experiment is to see how long it takes for the culture to consume itself. I looked out the window across from me. There is nothing outside, only slashes of white as the snow whipped across the wind, and an endless blackness beyond. Then the intercom crackled to life.
My husband Raymond is a coward and a thief. He stole from monsters and now he thinks he's smart enough to outrun them. How pathetic. I married him for his money, and I will have it. all of it. The syringe in my purse is not for my diabetes. I don't even have diabetes, but he doesn't know that. It's a fast-acting, untraceable toxin. Well, nearly untraceable. You'd have to specifically test for what's in my little drug cocktail to hit anyone's radar. My plan was elegant. A quick jab in the crowded station at Kyoto, a tragic death from a sudden aneurysm. The perfect crime. Again. I saw the man following Raymond, the one with the dead eyes. YAKUZA, no doubt. I have to act now. Before the assassin gets to him first, the last thing I need is an autopsy showing he was murdered. A case like that would eat up years of my money. Just as I thought about making my move, this plague into madness started. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, especially after the conductor came over the intercom, sounding like a possessed doll. It sounded like a war broke out in the lower-level cars. But this, chaos, is an opportunity. In the confusion, who's to say a frail old man didn't succumb to a heart attack? I just need to get to car 10, find my trembling husband, and give him his medicine. Let the animals tear each other apart. My business is with one man. And soon I will be his widow. As I make my way through this empty car, the lights flicker and die, replaced by a dim, emergency red glow. The train lurches violently. Through the glass doors ahead, I watch as bodies are thrown. The intercom comes back on now, the conductor's voice still distorted. Then the train goes black as we enter a tunnel.
The lights die again, just as I pass through to another car. Not fully, just enough to make every face eerily shadowed. As if there were no faces. Red emergency strips flicker on, washing the car in the color of exposed muscle. The air changes, like breathing through cloth. The first time I see him, I think he's infected. He's standing too still, like the conductor. The car's gone quiet in that wrong way that makes your gut clench, and anxiety rise. People are breathing, loud. Everyone just stopped attacking each other. Instead, hands hover near strangers like everyone stopped mid-motion. I edge down the aisle, backpack tight to my spine. Every so often I hear a popping sound and see someone twitch. The man is still in the back corner. He isn't twitching. He doesn't have his hand over someone else. He's just watching. Our eyes meet. He shifts positions a bit. Not defensive. Prepared. I step back without meaning to. Someone screams from the next car. A sharp, sudden sound in the quiet. Pain, not panic. Heads turn, bodies shift. The man moves, fast. He slips from the corner and disappears through the connecting door as it slams shut behind him. The crowd come alive and surges, a clashing of bodies. Oddly not in the aisle, but over seats. I stand there, heart pounding. He wasn't infected, I realize. I run after him.
I spot her before she notices me. She's dead center in the middle of the aisle and is moving slow. Eyes scanning every face, head swiveling to every sound. She's not one of them. I can tell by the fear on her face. Not my concern. The air changes then. I can feel it. A scream slices through the temporary silence. That high-pitched siren of pain sends a current that ripples through people as if that gave them permission to move again. Before the panic becomes lethal, I move. When the door seals behind me, the smell hits. Not just blood, but meat. Like I just stepped into a butcher shop. The man on the floor is still twitching. At least his torso is. He's moving as if trying to stand and confused why he can't. Could be from the blood loss, but I'm betting it's because both his legs are sprawled about 6 feet from him. And I understand two things. That whatever this is, it can't be stopped. and I need to get off this train. Now.
I don't run. That's the first mistake. I'm still folded on the floor in front of my seat, knees pulled tight to my chest, back pressed against the panel beneath the window. It's instinct. Small profile, reduce exposure, slow breathing. I tell myself if I make myself small, maybe they'll overlook me. The dim red emergency light is pulsing slowly, and I can feel the cold coming from the glass above me. In the window on the opposite side of where I'm sitting is nothing. Not countryside, not lights. Just black, endless swallowing, broken only by white snowflakes streaking past so fast they look like claws across the glass. I don't look directly at what's happening. I look at the window, at the reflections. Shapes move, bodies collide, hands grab. A woman slams another woman's head into a hard plastic seatback again and again until the sound changes, wet, hollow. A man bites into someone's shoulder and doesn't let go, even as his own throat is opened from behind. I watch it all backward, reversed. I hear it then, somehow through all of the chaos. Footsteps, measured, unhurried. The conductor enters the reflection. I read his name tag, Kenji. His uniform is spotless. He reaches the last two passengers brutalizing each other. A man and a woman tangled on the floor, nails and flesh, teeth buried deep, and kills them, snaps the woman's neck. Then the man's. My hands have been clamped over my mouth to keep from making a sound. I keep them there. He takes 4 steps down the aisle, closer to me, and stops. My heart slams so hard I'm sure it echoes. He's close now. So close I can see his profile in the glass reflection staring forward, not moving. A few more steps and he'll see me. My vision tunnels. Then he reaches up, opens an overhead compartment. Something drops. No, someone. A man crashes to the floor hard enough to rattle the seats. He's been folded into the compartment, limbs jammed at impossible angles, face frozen in pure animal terror. I see his face clearly now, not in reflection, directly. And for a fraction of a second, I'm not here. A sterile room, white walls, a trembling man strapped to a chair. He was scared too, desperate for the money, willing to try anything. I told him it was safe. I told him the data was promising. I told myself we were close. So close, just 1 or 2 more trials and... He seized, convulsed, died choking on his own blood while I stood there, notebook in hand, already thinking about variables. The memory snaps away. The man on the floor groans, tries to rise. He isn't looking at me. He's looking at the conductor. He scrambles and tries to crawl away. Kenji brings his foot down on his back. The sound that follows is not a scream at first. It's a tearing, a long, wet, ripping sound that crawls into my bones and nests there. Then the scream comes, raw, shredded, barely human. When it stops, the man is panting, sobbing on the floor. He drags himself forward, past my field of view. His legs have been ripped off of him. I see exposed bone, flaps of skin and sinew being pulled along as he drags himself across my view. When I lift my eyes back to the glass, Kenji is still in the same place he was, but is now directly facing the window. Facing me. The reflection makes it look like he's staring straight into my eyes. I stop breathing. Then, a body slams through the connecting door and stops. I see him look down, and I know he's watching the legless man. I blink and turn back to the window. The reflection is empty. The conductor is gone. Then, a woman bursts in.
I find him where I left him, in the corner, shaking, useless. Raymond's fingers are knotted into the carpet like he's trying to dig through it. His shoulders jerk with quiet sobs. When he looks up at me, his eyes are bloodshot and wide. Disgusting. Perfect. The syringe is warm in my palm. I've been holding it too long. I slide closer, keeping my voice soft, soothing. "It's okay," I whisper. "I'm here." I can feel him calming down when a fucking scream ruins it. So loud it feels like it's right behind me. He flinches, which startles me and shifts my angle. I see him see it. The syringe. The needle glints under the pulsing red lights. His expression changes, fear collapsing into something sharp and sudden.
"You bitch! You were going to..."
I lunge, then hands crash into me from the side and send me sprawling across the aisle. The syringe skitters away, vanishing beneath a seat. The train attendant is on top of me. Her mouth is wet with blood and drool. Her breath smells like copper. She doesn't scream. She pants, nails digging into my throat. I rake my fingers across her face, feel skin split, something soft give. She doesn't stop. Then I hear Raymond laugh.
You stupid bitch. You thought you were going to kill me."
He says, standing, voice steady. But my focus is on her. I'm scrabbling for anything, pulling out hair, nails in her eyes, anything. Then she goes limp. I see it then, the blade sticking out of her neck, and I already know it's from Raymond's cane. His hidden surprise, as he liked to call it. He doesn't even look at her as her body falls to the side. He's looking at me. I look right back. All pretense is gone. I let him see what I think of him. Then I feel it. "Well, get on with it," I say. "We both know your stamina will be gone soon." Then I winked at him. His screams with rage and moves, faster than I thought, but my hands already wrapped around the syringe. And then the conductor is there. He moves between us with surgical precision, hands calm, posture immaculate. He doesn't look at me as he kills Raymond. A swift blow that drops my husband to the floor like a broken thing. Silence rushes in. I'm already sobbing before the conductor turns around, shaking, crawling toward him on my hands and knees. "Thank you," I choke. "Oh, thank you. I thought he was going to..." He turns to face me. Up close, he smells clean. Soap. I press my forehead to the floor, make myself small, harmless. "I didn't do anything," I say quickly. "I'm not like them. I was just trying to get help." I look up at him, eyes wide, voice trembling. The version of myself that has always worked. For a moment, just one, I think I see something flicker in his eyes. "If you help me," I say softly, "I'll do whatever you need. I won't get in the way. I'll stay quiet." I stand and smile through tears. "I just want to get off this train." He tilts his head, raises his hands, and gently cradles my face. I lean my cheek into his hand. Then, savagely, he rips my jaw open and pulls out my tongue. The pain is vicious and only subsides infinitesimally once I hear the snap-pop sound as a part of me is being ripped from my body. I hit the floor as blood spills from my face and pools around my head. The last thing I feel is surprise as he drops my tongue and leaves.
The screaming thins out. Not stops. Just stretches. Longer gaps between them. When one comes now, it echoes. Lonely, like the train itself is running out of things to kill. We look at each other, and in that moment, we all understand the same thing. We're not like the others. After hurried story swaps, we already know we need to find a way off this train. Kenzo locks the door between cars and braces it with a bent service cart. Metal shrieks as something tries to push its way through from the other side, then slides down slowly, leaving a wet trail. Dr. Kano sinks into a seat across from me. My hands are shaking, but not uncontrollably. Kenzo's breathing is steady. Dr. Kano presses 2 fingers to the bridge of his nose. The others, they're not even aware anymore, I say, my voice sounding too loud in the quiet.
It has to be something in the air, some pathogen that's forced amygdala responses to become dominant. No higher function, no planning.
Dr. Kano says, nodding slowly. Kenzo glances at the door.
But we are. Why?
Could be a variety of things. Anything from genetics to viral shots, immunizations, too many to decipher right now.
If it's airborne, I say, clinging to the thought like a rope, then the system is doing this. Something is being cycled through the cars.
I don't think that matters. We are not like them, and we can't know when or if that will change. The bigger question is, how do we get off this train?
We pause. I doubt there is anyone left on this train who isn't dead or infected. Then Kenzo blurts out,
Control car. Front of the train. Do either of you know how to drive one of these things?
No, but I'm betting I can crack it open. If I can get to the control panel with this, I pat my backpack with my laptop. Then I should be able to get control of this no problem. I've got into a lot more secure locations than a train. For the first time since this started, something that looks like hope flickers through me.
I see it in Aki's eyes, a flicker of hope. But hope is dangerous. I've seen it before. That's when people stop reacting and start believing. That is when they die. I put my hand on the handle. I can't see anything through the gore on the glass, and I open the next door. Before it opens completely, the smell tells me everything I need to know. Not blood, but rot. Copper turned sour with decay. Something burned into the upholstery, baked in by recycled heat. The car beyond is dimmer than the one we came from, emergency lights stuttering like a failing pulse. I step in first, the others slowly behind me. Bodies are everywhere, but not scattered like I expected. Arranged, slumped into seats, folded into corners. A man is kneeling in the aisle, hands clasped in prayer, his head resting gently on the seat in front of him like he fell asleep mid-apology. His back is open, ribs peeled outward like fingers. Dr. Kano makes a sound behind me, small, involuntary. He clamps it down immediately. I raise a fist behind me. Stop. The train hum deepens, movement to my left. A woman rises slowly between the seats. Her spine unfolds with soft pops, joints unlocking. Her jaw looks dislocated, cheeks torn through and mouth wide open. There's no tongue. She breathes in wet, hitching pulls. She doesn't charge. She sniffs. I cross the distance in 3 steps. And before she finishes inhaling, I shove the blade up, under the jaw, through the brainstem. No resistance. She drops. Another shape stirs, then another. They come from everywhere at once. Not sprinting, but pouring from between seats, from under bodies, from overhead compartments where they've wedged themselves to wait. Hands grab, teeth snap. I plant myself between them and the others. Then the car becomes a butcher's floor. A hand grabs Aki's sleeve. I pivot, drive a shoulder into the attacker's chest, slice the blade across the throat, twist, and shove the body sideways. Blood sheets the aisle. Dr. Kano screams as something lunges low. I kick it mid-motion, its knee shattering sideways, then buried the blade into the base of its skull while it's still screaming. One of them grabs his arm, hard. I feel the ceramic edge snap. I pull it out and see the edge is chipped from the bone. I don't hesitate. I release the knife, slam my forehead into its face until teeth break, then draw the second blade from my boot and open its torso from collarbone to hip. The body collapses. I retrieve my ceramic blade from the floor. We move. Over bodies. Through blood that makes footing uncertain. Past sounds that are no longer screams, just air being forced through ruined throats. The next car is quieter. The lights here are steady, no movement. Just one man standing in the center aisle, facing away from us. He's humming. Low. One of them, I don't know who, inhales sharply behind me. I raise my hand again. Stop. The man turns. His eyes are white, not rolled back, but burned out, as if something bright passed through them and kept going. His hands hold something dark and slick. My first horrified thought was, child. Then it moved. I realize it's not a child. The man is holding his intestines. I see the ropey slickness coming from a wound in his abdomen, ending with them coiled in his arms. And something is passing through them. I hear Aki retch. I move before she finishes, but so does the man. He's fast, but realize he's not coming at me. I follow through with my strike, but it's a glancing blow, only opening up skin as he slams into my shoulder, knocking me down. I immediately reach up, grab his leg, and let his momentum carry me back as I bring up the blade and slash the Achilles tendon clean through, then scramble up his back and bring the blade down into the man's spine, severing movement. The humming stops. I'm breathing hard. But when I get up, I see the next door marked Authorized Personnel Only. Behind it, the control car. I just open the door when we hear it at the same time. Pounding coming down the corridor. I turn and the thing I just left behind, the one that shouldn't be up, is running straight at us. I shove the other two in, slam the door shut, and lock it just as we hear it crash into the door from the other side. Once, twice, then nothing. I brace myself against the frame and look back at the others. Now, I say.
I move to the access panel beneath the emergency console and rip it open. Sparks snap against my fingers. My laptop is already out, already connected. Code scrolls fast, but it's familiar. All systems have openings. Everything does. I just need to pass some securities and I can stop it, I say, more confident than I feel. Override the propulsion control, kill the power. I hit enter. Nothing happens. I try again. Still nothing. Okay, I can slow it then. I run more code, hit enter, nothing. No, I mutter, no. The system doesn't reject me. It doesn't spit me back out, show me I've been made, nothing. It just ignores me. That's worse. Kenzo steps closer.
Problem?
I don't have access, I say. Not real access. Let me concentrate. Code scrolls across my screen too fast to catch. Fail-safes? This should be easy. Something else is happening. I follow the wiring with my eyes, and my stomach drops.
What?
The wires are burned. I point to a blackened wires. The realization hits all at once. I laugh, sharp and breathless. I can't stop it. The train shudders beneath us, accelerating. I think furiously. Eyes drifting to a different subsystem. I can crash it. Silence swallows the car.
That would kill us.
Maybe, probably, I finish. But if I die, I'd rather go fast in a fireball than being ripped apart. Kenzo doesn't hesitate.
Do it.
I look at him. Really look. Blood-soaked. Cut. Exhausted. Still standing. There's no guarantee, I say.
Better than this.
He says simply. Kano closes his eyes, then nods. I reroute the controls. Override the track logic. My hands stop shaking. For the first time, I feel calm. If this works, I say quietly, we derail before the next curve. Enough force to rupture the cars. Then, open air. Kenzo plants himself at the door, bracing his hand and holding himself in place. Kano sits beside me and grips the console like I do. I throw the switch. The train screams. Metal howls. Glass shatters inward. The world tilts violently as the tracks vanish beneath us, and everything becomes noise and motion, and tearing steel so loud I think my ears are bleeding. We collide with things unknown, and it jolts the train so hard I slam my head into the paneling. Then, nothing.
Silence. Snow mixing with ash drifts through the torn hull of the bullet train, slow and lazy, settling on twisted aluminum and shattered glass like the world is already trying to bury what happened here. It was the kind of quiet that presses against the ears until you realize something should be happening, and isn't. I come back to myself buried under wreckage. My arm is screaming. I don't need to look to know it's broken. I've broken enough bodies to recognize the language of pain. I breathe through it. Each inhale tastes like cold metal and blood. The train lies split open along the tracks like a gutted animal, its pristine white shell peeled back, snow collecting in the cavities where people died. No movement. No moaning. No dying. That's the first problem. I force myself upright using my good arm. My boots crunch through the snow. The carnage is preserved, flash frozen in place. I step down from the wreckage and stare at the massive open carcass of the train. A woman hangs over a seatback, mouth open in a scream that never finished. Snow has gathered on her eyelashes. A man lies face down, spine snapped through skin, fingers clawed into the floor as if he tried to pull himself through solid metal. I don't know if they died in the crash or by each other's hands. Steam hisses from ruptured lines, rising and vanishing into the cold air. Metal ticks as it cools. Nothing else moves. We should be hearing sirens or seeing people by now. Japan does not ignore disasters. Response is immediate, relentless, precise. But the countryside around us is empty. No cars stopped on nearby roads. No emergency lights cutting through the snowfall. No distant voices shouting. Just fields stretching out beneath a dull gray sky. Snow drifting straight down. I check my phone. Nothing. Just the lock screen. 11:15. I swipe. Nothing changes. I unlock it manually. 11:15. My instincts crawl. I've survived knife fights, gunfire, interrogations. I know when I'm being watched. I know when a place is lying, and this place is lying. Behind me, metal groans. I spin, blade already in my hand, but it's only Aki pulling herself free from the wreckage, blood streaking her face, snow melting against her skin. Dr. Kano follows moments later, limping, clutching his ribs. He scans the horizon, eyes searching the falling snow for help that should already be here. None comes. Minutes pass. No helicopters, no responders, no authorities sealing the perimeter. Just us. 3 survivors standing in a silent field of the dead, snow settling around us. Then, faintly, so faint I almost convince myself it's memory, I hear it. That sound, the high-pitched hum of the Shinkansen at full speed, not behind us, not ahead of us, everywhere.
The sound is so loud and seems to be coming from everywhere. It starts behind my eyes, a pressure, like a thought trying to force its way in sideways. I squeeze my temples and breathe slow. Shock, trauma, adrenaline crash. I catalog it like I'm forcing my own brain to recognize it's in control. Then the smell it. Copper pennies, burnt plastic, hot oil. I freeze. Because that smell isn't here. The countryside is still, clean, quiet. But the scent keeps getting stronger until it fills my mouth, coats my tongue, drags bile up my throat. I stagger away from the wreckage and drop to one knee. And suddenly, I'm back on the train. Not this train. Another one. The seats are blue this time. A woman across the aisle is laughing into her phone, mid-sentence. Her head snaps up with a wet crack, blood spraying the ceiling as she bites through her own tongue. Because that smell isn't here. The countryside is still, clean, quiet. But the scent keeps getting stronger until it fills my mouth, coats my tongue, drags bile up my throat. I stagger away from the wreckage and drop to one knee. And suddenly, I'm back on the train. Not this train. Another one. The seats are blue this time. A woman across the aisle is laughing into her phone, mid-sentence. Her head snaps up with a wet crack, blood spraying the ceiling as she bites through her own tongue. She doesn't scream. She gurgles, choking on meat that used to be her tongue, eyes wide with confusion more than pain. The man next to her tries to stand and trips when his leg splinters out in the wrong direction. Shin bone punching through skin like a snapped lever. Someone slams into me from behind. I turn just in time to see fingers jammed into a man's eye sockets. Thumbs push until something pops. He drops, convulsing, face collapsing inward as if the skull itself is giving up. I gasp, and I'm back in the field. I vomit onto the snow. Kenzo steps toward me, hand hovering near my shoulder, but not touching. Smart. I shake my head violently. No, I say. Don't. My heart is hammering like I just sprinted miles, but my body hasn't moved. Kano asks something, but I don't hear it, because it's happening again. Another ride. This one is darker. Emergency lights already on. The train is hot, oppressive. Sweat pours down my spine as people claw at their collars, gasping. The air vents blast nothing but heat. Someone screams about fire. There is no fire. The metal paneling is getting hotter. The pressure builds until ears burst one by one. Soft pops followed by wet sounds. Blood leaks from noses, eyes, mouths. A man's eyeballs swell, then liquefy, sliding down his cheeks like jelly as he claws at his face, shrieking. Bodies pile up as people collapse, trampling each other in blind panic. Skin sloughs off forearms where they grip overheated metal. Fingers stick, tear-free, leave pieces behind. I feel my own hands blistering, and I'm back, again. I'm screaming now. I don't remember starting. I sink further into the ground, nails digging into snow. What the fuck is happening? I choke out. Kenzo crouches in front of me, eyes sharp, unreadable. I shake my head, tears streaking through blood and grime. Other trains. The words fall out before I can stop them. There were other rides with different horrible things happening. Same train. I swallow hard. Just different ways of suffering. I press my palms against my eyes, but it doesn't help. The images keep coming. A car so crowded no one can fall. Some faces are blue, but most I recognize. Two in particular. Kenzo and Kano. I pick them out of the crowd that is packed so tight, it's claustrophobic, hard to breathe. Teeth snapping, nails tearing, bodies crushed upright until ribs pierce lungs and people suffocate standing up. A woman using her teeth to rip out my throat because her hands were already broken. A man screaming as his shoulders snapped against another, bone scraping bone. Every ride ends the same way. Screaming, tearing metal, darkness. I lower my hands. We don't escape, I say. We can't. Behind us, faint but unmistakable, the hum grows louder. We all whip our heads around to see what's coming at us. Cold spreads through my chest. The hum rises, no longer distant. It vibrates under my skin, in my bones, in the base of my skull, like a tuning fork striking flesh. I stand. This place isn't real, I say to no one in particular. The ground vibrates. Behind us, metal screams, not from stress, but from assembly. Panels groan, seats snap back into place with mechanical finality. We watch as blood slicks backward across surfaces, flowing against gravity, re-entering wounds. A woman's shattered skull pulls itself together with a sound like knuckles cracking. Kenzo backs away, then turns and runs into the trees. Kano takes off down the tracks. I stare, horrified, understanding slamming into me all at once. There's nowhere we can hide. The automated voice crackles to life, horrifyingly normal.
Welcome aboard.
It says. Through an intercom I see sliding its way back up the paneling. I close my eyes and laugh. a psychotic, hysterical thing. I double over with it, and my laughs turn into sobs. The sound of the train stitching itself together doesn't stop. Blood finishes crawling back into the bodies. Gashes close with a sound like wet fabric being pulled tight. Bones snap back into place. Teeth regrow. I stand and watch it all. I feel a kind of emptiness come over me. I don't say anything, because it doesn't matter. The ground lurches. The world tilts, and the snowy countryside tears open like a stage backdrop being yanked away, collapsing into darkness. I open my eyes. Fluorescent white light floods the interior of a pristine bullet train. I'm in my seat. My bag is at my feet. My laptop is inside. Next to me, Mr. Tanaka adjusts his tie. He glances at me and offers an awkward smile, the exact one he gave before his skull was split open. My heart tries to claw out of my chest. No one else seems to notice anything wrong. Passengers murmur. Phones buzz. Someone laughs. Kenzo stands 3 rows up, whole again, suit immaculate, eyes scanning with the same lethal awareness. But there's no recognition there. His eyes meet mine for a second and continue their scan. Dr. Kano is reading a book. I look to my right, through the window. Darkness outside, just black. I sit and I wait. Hell doesn't need fire. It just needs to break you over and over and over again. The hum rises, powerful, inevitable. Then the intercom chimes.
Hello, and good morning, passengers. This is the 11:15 service to Kyoto.
I stand, and the lights flicker. The conductor steps into the aisle. His name tag reads, Kenji. He smiles. The thermos is in his hand. The first scream hits right on schedule. And there you have it. A reminder that not every nightmare is meant to be escaped. Some are meant to be repeated, over and over. Subscribe if you want more stories like this stumbling around in your brain. I hope you all stay safe this winter season. Well, until next time.